Yo, welcome to another episode of Unsportsmanlike Conduct. As always, you got me and Ben. Man, Ben, week 6 in the books. Looking at the rankings, literally, it's anybody's game almost. The only one that might be just a little bit out of reach, but still possible, would be Taylor at 1-5. But between the 11th seed and the first seed, 2 games.
Hmm.
For example, Clark could lose next 2 games, and Ryan and Mark win their next 2, and they'll have the same record.
Hmm.
So it's pretty crazy how close it is right now.
It is. You got four teams that are sitting at 4-2, and then you've got what is it? Is it five? Five of them are 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
So between 9 teams in the league, there's a 1 game difference.
Yep.
I don't know that we've ever seen it like this evened out. So honestly, it's a little intense. I'm kind of here for it though. It
It's
really
great.
it makes every game matter.
It does, dude. I'm just happy. I'm back in the fight. I'm in the mix. After a few weeks of dealing with injuries, it was like just win a few until some players got healthy. And boy, Joe Mixon getting healthy, big deal.
Those Texans, they look good once they get him back and they start running the ball
Dude,
again. It opens everything up again.
well, it's my argument for why Cincinnati's so bad. If they had a good running game,
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati would have probably at least a 500 record right now. I could argue a winning record. Um,
There's a lot
but
of issues right
yeah,
now.
but anyways, it's anybody's game right now. We are all for it.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and jump right into waiver wire Wednesday, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward because it's been a busy week.
So I will say before we start going through these, looks like Cameron has the least amount of money left in his budget. He has $5.
Yep.
Five. We're not even halfway through the fantasy season, and he has $5 left.
Cameron has
He's
been really playing that waiver wire, man.
he has. I mean, it's gonna catch up. I'm all for spending most of your budget early because that's whenever you're gonna get the big home run hitters potentially. Um, but
Yep.
man, is he gonna have enough ammo? Getting into the tail end of the season, we'll find out. And then after that, the next lowest we got looks like no, it's Clark in first place because he's had some massive bids. Um,
Yeah. It's Clark and I think AJ's close around to that too. I think AJ and Tommy were sitting at 36 the last time I looked.
hmm
So there's quite a few players that, well, team managers, whatever you want to call them, quite a few of them who've really been active with the bids this year. Like I think I think that we're bidding higher on things this year than we have in previous seasons.
it at least seems that way, at least to start. I will say, looking at this too, there's actually only 4 teams that have spent more than $50. Looking at
Yeah,
this, that's like, wow, Jesus, we've spent over half of our fab budget across the league, but I don't think we're quite there yet. 2 more weeks, I bet we're there. I'd say Taylor's the outlier, because I don't expect there to be any fab spending unless he'll finally break that 3 or 4 year trend he's doing on that. But anyways,
let one of his players get injured for the rest of the season. I think you'll see him finally move.
yeah. All right, man. We had a lot of just free agent moves today.
Yeah.
Um, before even the fabs. So going to the fabs. Starting
Mhm.
off, is this the first one for Vidal?
Yeah, it should be.
Looks like little Josh took him for 15. Um, make
Yeah.
sure I get
So
on the right thing. Yeah, he took him for 15 with no contest. Like nobody tried to fight him for it.
yep.
So Good job, little Josh. I think we could say you officially overspent. Um,
I get the move. I will say that, like, if anything happens to J.K. Dobbins right now, then he will get the start because Gus Edwards is out. Um, I think that they fully did draft this kid with intentions of him being, I think, the starter, not this year, but developing into it. Um, I mean, if you go and check out uh, Kamani's, his college stuff, it's really kind of impressive some of the stuff that he was able to do.
hmm
So I like the pick for them. I just don't know that Josh is going to get the production that he had last week. That seemed to be a little bit more of a in the moment kind of thing.
Yep. And hey, that could be a deep uh, sleeper keeper for next year. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So next we have Damian Pierce. Once again, a no contest against Drew, but this was only $6. I think this is a good pickup. Drew's kind of question mark at running back right now. Is he going to have Mason back next week? I really think that's what inspired this waiver pickup.
Well, it's that, and then don't forget Joe Mixon is back and starting. But if he gets injured, Damian Pierce is the backup
Yep.
because they just traded Cam Akers.
Yep.
So, uh, yeah, you don't know. It could help him out. It might just be a stash just in case. So,
And then for our first contested, so to say, fab bid was for Buffalo's defense. We had 5 people put in a bid for,
yep.
and looks like Drew won it with a $6 bid. He outbid Clark by $4.
Yeah. Way to go get your defense, Drew. I do think it's a pretty solid move, especially when you look at what they've got coming up. They got Tennessee this coming weekend. Immediately after that, they have Seattle. Then they have Miami, and then Indianapolis before they get the Chiefs in Week 11. So,
hmm
I mean, Bills defense, they're not great this year, but that matchup, I'll take that. That's 4 solid weeks against teams that offensively have some struggles.
Then,
So,
then coming up next, we got Clark with a $2 winning bid for Sam Darnold. Um, this is I gotta look at Clark's team. I don't know if he's dealing with a bye week or what's going on, but is he the one that's been playing Justin Fields?
I think so.
So if Clark's the one with Justin Fields on his team right now, that's a question mark. It shouldn't be. I don't know why the Steelers would go away with that, but you gotta at least entertain the idea that you might have to start somebody else. And I think Sam Darnold. It's not. He doesn't have.
He's got Mahomes. I forgot this. He's got Mahomes.
Honestly, with how Mahomes been performing too, that's not a bad pickup either. So,
Well,
um,
it looks better if you forget about this past weekend. Darnold really looked out of sorts.
he did. They were overseas because that was the New England game, right? Or across the
Yeah, it was the London game.
London game. So it's those games. It's kind of hit and miss. But outside of that, he's been doing great. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I like to pick up for $2, and he outbid Cameron.
Yep.
We're gonna see a lot of Cameron's bid for $0. That's why it's gonna be important for people in the league. If it's like you never know, you
One
never
dollar
know.
off.
$1, even if you got waiver priority, you can even do $0. You might outbid Cameron because he'll probably be always at the bottom of the waivers because he'll get somebody for $0, which he did, which we'll get to. So, coming in next. Orscheln's favorite type of position went for $1. Mickey B coming in for Cameron Dicker
Dick.
um, for $1.
Yep.
3 other bids went on that. Like, I'm curious if all these either the value of kickers are going up, people just they want good kickers, or all these teams that put in a bid for a kicker, their current kicker has a bye week.
It's a good chance. Dicker's not a bad guy, and again, uh, pretty favorable matchups if you're trying to figure some of that stuff out. So I like the move. Just again, if you're going to stream kickers, make sure you're looking at the right teams with the right, you know, opportunities. I guess.
Yep.
Andrew, you'll never get it. It's fine. You'll survive.
And
Oh,
then
I will say, Mitch, I don't know if you looked at this, but uh, Taylor had two potential tries, didn't use any money, but he did put in two uh, waiver claims at $0.
this is true.
So some signs of life from Taylor on the free agency.
Could be. Could be. We could hope. We could hope for
We'll
that. And then last but not least, um, actually no, my bad. Cameron did not win this. He lost to a $0 bid. Ryan and Mark coming in to get Cincinnati with a $0 bid.
It's Cincinnati. I mean, say what you will. I just don't think they're there right now. But you're just banking on the matchup. They're playing Cleveland. Cleveland has been god awful.
Yeah, well,
Um,
they don't have Amari Cooper anymore either, so
uh-uh. Now we might actually be seeing Nick Chubb coming back into the lineup at some point, but who knows what to expect with that?
yep.
So there's such a dumpster fire this year. He really can't pay me to watch a Browns game right now.
If they play the Chiefs, you would.
I would, and I'll be there. I may actually break my rule. Most of you probably know that I make a habit of trying not to drink anything during Chiefs games. It's just a nerves thing for me or something, but I don't like doing it. Now, if they're playing a team like the Browns, I might actually go ahead and say, "All right, fine, today is the day." But that should be an indicator of just how bad the Browns are, Mitch.
They are pretty bad. They are pretty bad. I don't know what they're gonna do with Watson. That's just it's a bad situation all around.
Yep.
But all right, that's it for waiver wire Wednesday. We're not going to talk about the free agent pickups. Those are all always question marks. I do see some very good, reasonable pickups as to why. You just kind of hope you land a hit. Um, but yeah, man, dude, season's going great. Um, some power rankings. So just like what we did last week, Ben, you are beating me in the rankings. You and I have the same record, which is cool, but you do have me on points right now. So
Yeah.
uh,
Better than you. Just go ahead and say it.
so I'm gonna so since I'm worse than Ben, so to say, right now, I will do the top team and Ben will do the bottom team. So honestly, I got to give it to Clark. I know he's number one in the power rankings. Um, he has the most points in the league, not by much. I mean, you are behind just by a little bit, but you find ways to lose games.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I might be a little biased for Saquon Barkley because he's the only reason the Eagles have a winning record right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my team needs to get it together. They got time, but man, if they're not careful, Washington might win that division. God, I feel
I'm.
gross saying that.
Oh, I want to see it. I want to see
I think a lot of people want to see it, not this guy. So,
it.
but I got Clark, number one in the league right now. But man,
Yeah.
so close with a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I think Clark's team is up there for a reason. You look at how many points he scored, but more importantly, go look at how many points he's had against. So Clark's team has been able to squeak out some wins because they have had quite a few points dropped against them.
Hmm.
So I'll give him some props there. I'll keep it short and sweet, Mitch. The worst team in the league, it hasn't changed. We're going into week 7 now. Is that right? Yeah. So my opinion has not changed since the beginning of the season. And quite frankly, I'll touch on it later why, but when we break down some matchups, you'll understand why. I just think it's actually going to get worse for Taylor from here on out.
All right.
So, sorry, Taylor.
So at this point in time, I do agree with you. I think unless Taylor's team gets a few more wins in there and he's even in the win loss column with a few other people, he has to be at bottom right now. The Jets, we'll see. I think his team live and dies with the Jets. He might as well go pick up Aaron Rodgers. He won't. I mean, he has Josh Allen. He should be playing Josh Allen, but he's living and dying with the Jets. If I'm Taylor, I'm rooting for the Jets to go to the Super Bowl, putting up MVP numbers through various positions. Otherwise, Taylor, I think you're going to be at the bottom of the standings or pretty dang close to it all throughout the rest of the season. So, all right, we are going to jump right into matchups. Trying to decide what I think would be game of the week. We'll do that one last.
Well, I know which one I think is game of the week.
I think game of the week has to be against Cameron and Drew.
That's what you think the game of the week is?
Third and fourth place.
Hmm. I disagree. I think the game of the week is going to be me versus Clark.
That's a good one too. All right. Well, we're just gonna go straight down my list. We will wrap up with those two games last. We will go ahead and start with Rob and I against AJ. How about that? 3 and 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Two teams at the beginning of the year that a lot of us thought highly of to be considered some of the best teams. Here they are sitting in the middle of the standings.
Mm-hmm.
So before, we'll go ahead and break this down. I do know with me, like I'm gonna pick. Uh, I'm gonna pick me and Rob. That might be a little biased. AJ, I think your team is better than my team right now, but I gotta pick me and Rob. I think this game could turn into a shootout. I believe Bijan is going to play this week, from what I'm hearing so far. Man, one of the big things that I'm trying to navigate through is Devonte Adams going to play. It sounds like he's going to play, but is he going to be on a snap count? How much of the playbook is he going to be able to get down in a week's time? And
Mm-hmm.
then is Aaron Rodgers just going to make a point, be like, this whole league is in trouble because I got my boy, I got Lazard on the other side, and then I have Garrett Wilson in the slot, or however they're going to do that. I just don't
Yep.
know. So I'm struggling. Like I want to play Devontae so bad, but we gotta navigate through that. I do know if I do play him, I probably won't play Lazard.
Yeah, I think you got to pick. You got to pick your battle there between
So,
the two. Uh,
but but breaking this down, I'm gonna barely give you the edge with Daniels, but I think Hurts is gonna have a bigger game against the Giants. But then you're going against Carolina. Jeez.
yep.
Um, I don't know. I keep hoping that rookie quarterback's gonna show that he's a rookie. We're not seeing it. It's amazing what he is doing. I mean that Caleb Williams, he's starting to get things. He's playing really good football too, but Daniels has to be rookie of the year at the moment. Um,
Yep.
Breaking this down, wide receivers, I I give it to AJ just by a hair, but if Devontae is going to have full game, I'm going to give the edge back over to me. Not by much, just a little bit. Um, Ayuk, I'm sorry, I think Kansas City's going to spank the 49ers. I just do. Ben's not going to say it because he's afraid of a black cat walking underneath his legs or something like that. And so I'll say it. 49ers are going to get stomped by Kansas City. Uh, Running backs, I'm going to say mine. I mean, David Montgomery and Mixon, holy cow. That is my team.
Mm,
Brock Bowers, I got the best tight end in the league.
yep.
It's where I hurt is my flex. But that just depends. Lazard, I'm going to say Rob and I. not by much. It's gonna be a close game. I will be disappointed in my team if it doesn't score 100. I'll be disappointed in AJ's team if it does not score 100, or AJ and Tommy's rather. So Rob and I beat AJ by 5. AJ and Tommy by 5.
So I will actually agree with you this week. Um, I do think that you're right on some things. I will say that there's definitely some good mixes here. Quarterbacks, I think you're right. I think Jalen Hurts is going to come out slinging against the Giants. That's a divisional game that they really want those wins. They want to be able to prove that they are 100% still in there. Jaden Daniels, look, they're playing Carolina. Carolina's one of the weakest teams in the league. So I don't know that you have to throw the ball that much to get your win against Carolina. Um, I think honestly, a healthy Brian Robinson probably might put up more points than Jaden Daniels. Um, so I think where it really matters is it's the running back and the wide receiver matchups. Now I'll say I think you guys have a better duo at running back with Mixon and Montgomery. I really like the Montgomery play because he's just been so consistent. But given my choice, I will tell you Brian Robinson is actually my favorite out of the 4 running backs on this list in these matchups. I really like what they've been able to do with him. He's a fun guy to watch. So I'd say that's my favorite, but I think that you guys have a better duo there. I think he's got better receivers. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown a lot, but Brandon Ayuk, I think you're right. He's been slow getting up to speed this season, and I just don't know that Kansas City's defense is where you get to finally turn it on. Um, that defense right now is really what's keeping them in the games, in spite of the offense, to be honest. So I don't know that that's really going to help them out. Deontay Johnson, he's looked pretty good. And again, Carolina, if they're going to be down, they're going to be throwing. So that seems pretty easy there. I'm not crazy about the McConkey play, but somebody has to catch the ball in LA. So I think really if Devontae plays and Rodgers is just like, I got my boy, we're just going to throw 48 passes to him all night and not do anything else, then yeah, I think you walk away with a win. Um, Even if it's just Lazard and you're keeping him in your flex, like if they're not bringing Devontae up to speed, I still think Lazard is still going to be that solid number 2 for him because, to be honest, Mike Williams has been there all season long and they have not figured out how to get him
Dude,
involved.
Aaron Rodgers threw him under the bus so hard this week. He's done. It's
Yeah. If
if
he's
I
not out there within the next, 7 days, I I will blow my mind.
it's man.
Yeah. So that cut it short there. I think Mitch, I think you and Rob pull this one out. I think you're right. It'll be pretty close, but end of the day, I think it's really the running backs that are going to side this matchup. So, uh, David Montgomery, then.
Dude, with Rob and I's team right now, imagine Adams gets up to speed. He acts like a wide receiver 1, or either 1A or 1B for the Jets, and then I got Puka back.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean this team is
Great.
it's the pieces are there. Just get healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So gonna be a close game. All right, battle of the losers. Andrew against Taylor. Ben, I'll let you start this one off.
Well, Mitch, when you turn on the games on Sunday and, like, back in the days where you only had a couple options and you just turn it on, you're like, oh, wow, I do not want to watch this game at all. That is this matchup. I want to watch it. I would not, like, this is a dumpster bowl game, is what it is. Um, I think Andrew pulls it out just because, again, my problems with Taylor's team. I'll make it super simple. His, we were talking about the draft. Two of the best players that he had. What team do they play for? The Jets. What did the Jets just do? They went and got a new star receiver. So Garrett Wilson is immediately downgraded. He's not the number one anymore. And he was already having trouble connecting with Rodgers and getting on the same page. You can't tell me that magically gets better now. I mean, in the long run, having Devontae may actually make Garrett Wilson a better receiver because he can learn some stuff from him. But in the immediate future, oh no, I don't think you want to touch the Jets right now because just ugh. So again, my same problems. You got a receiver and a running back from the same team. We know that it's going to be a problem there. Justin Jefferson, great receiver, but if Sam Darnold plays like he did last week, like if it's finally that okay, teams have figured out Sam Darnold again, Jefferson's going to be taking some hits. I still hate the Najee Harris play. You'll never get me off of that. It's never going to happen. Just say it again. We have 6 weeks in. Najee Harris has broken double digits twice. That is not something to be proud of. And that's supposed to be somebody who's kind of in a, at best, split share kind of deal. But Jalen Warren's been injured so long, so it's a crapshoot, man. Yeah, I'm just not crazy about it. Taylor, I'll tell you what I think you should be doing. I think you need to start packaging some of these players up and try trading. For the love of God, Josh Allen has carried your team. It may be time to offer some trades, offload Josh Allen, see if you can pick up some other stuff to help carry you through because these guys are not doing it. And right now, you've got your defense on a bye, and you still need to figure out your kicker situation. So I just don't see it. I don't see a scenario where Taylor gets another win. I was honestly surprised that he even got one win. So Taylor, I would say if you keep your team as is through the rest of the season, I'm gonna say you finish with at best 3 wins, and I think that's being generous. So I'll say Andrew by 17.
So, looking at this, I actually disagree with you on how I think this game's going to play out. I think both these teams are going to score over 100. I think Jordan Love is heavily, well, I don't want to say heavily, but Jordan Love's going to score north of 25 points this week against Houston. That's going to be a shootout. Josh Downs, if Joe Flacco plays, sorry, Josh Downs, he gets you 15.
That's a big
Uh,
if.
Worthy against the 49ers. No, I disagree with you. I think Worthy's going to have a game.
Mm-mm.
He's gonna have a big play in there.
Well, that
Um,
is he's feast or famine.
yeah, and it's gonna be feast this week.
No, it's going to be a Kelsey game.
So, um, Taylor, I know he's hurt. Njoku. So here's the thing: with Amari Cooper gone, who else you got? You got that and Jerry Judy. I think that's gonna help some. Stevenson, that's hit and miss. I don't know what's going on there. Uh, I think you got to play Stevenson if he's gonna play and start. Andrews bench. So he has Jacoby Myers in Las Vegas, who no longer has Devontae.
Yeah, they just changed up to who the quarterback throwing the ball is going to be too.
I know, just saying. Um, Andrew, he might throw in Christian Watson too. I look at this team. I look at Andrew's team with matchups. I mean, it might just be my gut. He might do it. The only thing that I don't understand, I'm not complaining, is why Andrew traded for a running back from my team whenever he has a quarterback from that same team. I'll never understand that combo. I just won't. Just won't. Which so yeah, I'm gonna go over to Taylor's team. Um, Honestly, if I was Taylor, trade either Garrett Wilson or Brees Hall. Get rid of one of those Jets. Keep Josh Allen. That is your staple. You can get people to bite on Garrett Wilson or Brees Hall. I know it. I would be interested.
Mitch is one of them.
Um, Only because, well, I have Devontae Adams, so I probably won't now, but before I would have. He's sitting on Chubb on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you throw Chubb into the lineup. If he does play, he's projected. He has points projected this week. If he puts in Chubb over Eckler, because I don't like Eckler, then yeah, I mean, I could see both these teams getting over 100 this week. So it won't surprise me. I'm going to give the edge to Taylor to win this week, and that's assuming that he will put in a kicker and a defense. Um, but I think it'll be a close game. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I think Andrew's team is underprojected a little bit. As long as his players are healthy, this is going to be a match for last. So I'm going to give the edge to Taylor. Both of these teams will score over 100 this week.
All right. I
Okay,
think
doke. What's that?
I think you'll be wrong, but okay.
Well, you were wrong last week when you thought Taylor was going to lose.
Yeah, but you know what they say? Broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah. So maybe that second time will be this week.
No.
All right. We're gonna move over to Mickey B. Second place, Mickey B against Steve. So I know right now. So right now, Mike does not have Joe Burrow in
Yep.
there, and he's gonna play Baker Mayfield against Baltimore. Prime time Baker. I
I
mean,
don't I don't hate it.
I don't necessarily hate it either, but I don't think it's gonna matter much on this particular matchup. Sorry, I'm not high on Seattle. I'm not. Steve's trying the Wombo combo.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like it. It's not a good Wombo combo. Um, I love AJ Brown. Connor, yes. Williams, I get. Cook, if he plays, yes. Very happy with what Cook is doing. Looking at his bench, I mean, I know Olave is out. I mean, Steve is playing who he needs to play. Waddle should not even be considered until Tua plays. Um,
Yeah, honestly, if you're going somebody on his bench, Mitch, Justice Hill may actually be the best option on that bench.
yeah, I would agree. Um, I think, yeah, just Steve's team's a little limited. I think Mike, uh, the only criticism I'd have of Mike's team this week, me personally, I'd probably end up playing Burrow over Mayfield, but I get playing Mayfield, wanting to do that. Um, I, I'm going to give it to Mike. I think Steve's team is going to struggle a little bit this week, but I don't know. It might be a close game, but I give it to Mike.
So I will agree. I think Mike gets the win, but I think I like the idea of playing Baker Mayfield because Mitch, he's had at least 3 games where he's finished it with 28 points or more. Joe Burrow has had some struggles this year. Now I get it. You're you're going up against a team who's just bad, just flat out bad. But at the same time, I would say Baker Mayfield's going up against a defense that's for a very good competitive team. And I do think that it means Tampa Bay is going to have to be throwing that ball. Like, it's going to be one of those close games, I think. So I think that more points are going to be scored in that game. It's going to be more competitive. There's going to be more things forcing Tampa Bay to try and move that ball. So I actually think that end of the day, I think Baker finishes with a higher score than Joe Burrow this week. Everything else on the roster, look, Steve, I think you've done pretty good with what you have, but Mike's team has just way more going for it. Jamar Chase is
Hmm.
clearly one of the best receivers in the league. Tank Dell is moving up in the pecking order because Nico Collins is on IR.
Yep.
Uh, J.K. Dobbins has just come out this year and shown us what he has always been expected to be every year that he was in Baltimore. Like J.K. Dobbins right now is the poster boy of change of scenery makes a difference. So I think that that's going to continue. Mike's got Laporta back to being relevant in that offense. Terry McLaurin, look, Washington has to throw the ball to someone, and McLaurin is not a bad receiver.
Mm-mm.
So, end of the day, I think that it's going to be Mike. Steve, you've got some great players. I like A.J. Brown a lot. I think James Conner is one of the quietly best running backs in the league. But you're forced to play Javonte Williams. I've been on that train before. It never goes well. Um, James Cook, I hope he plays for you, man. I like watching Cook play. I think he's got a lot going for him. But end of the day, I think Mike just has stronger plays, and it's going to come out this weekend. So hate to break it to you, buddy, but ninth might be kind of exactly where you're sitting at the end of this week too. So
All right.
feels
Moving.
dirty.
It happens. Moving
Yeah.
on to Ryan and Mark versus Little Josh.
um. So throw this out there first. We don't know if Justin Fields is playing or not.
Right now, he's projected 0.
Yeah, everything's kind of indicating that they intend to roll the ball with Russell Wilson, and I'm like, why? What does he have over you guys? Like, does he have blackmail he's holding over the owner or something? Or I don't know, because I told Josh last week, unless Russell Wilson has just been having the most perfect practices while he's been getting healthy, then I just don't see it unless he has blackmail on the team. Like, I just don't get it. Uh, I don't like it. But, looking at the teams, I'll go ahead and say that there's stuff to like from both sides. I actually like Josh's team more in terms of like the skill players and everything. But if Josh has to roll the ball with Anthony Richardson this weekend, then Josh, you're taking an L, buddy. Like I don't think there's a way around that. Um, Josh, if I were you, you might be one of those guys who just really goes and have some serious conversation. Go talk to Taylor. See if he'll finally trade Josh Allen. But yeah, there's players on Josh's team I like. I like DK Metcalf. I really like Malik Neighbors, what they've been able to do there. So if he's healthy, there's a great potential for a big breakout game there. Kyron Williams, you get Las Vegas, man. Run all over it. I'm gonna say easily 100 yards rushing, if not more. So I like those things. Um, oh, this feels bad. I'm gonna take Josh. Oh, Josh, please figure out your quarterback situation so I don't look like an idiot.
You're going to look
But
like an idiot.
yeah,
So,
uh, I will say that the quarterback situation, think it's any. I don't think it's much better for Ryan and Mark because they're going to play Kansas City, and like realistically, tell me Brock Purdy's not going to find his way to sitting on his butt. Like he's going to eat some turf, buddy. It's going to happen. Chris Jones is looking at him, thinking about that last Super Bowl. Chris Jones is like, you guys think you guys are going to come get your revenge game? I'm out here looking for defensive player of the year. Nothing would make Chris Jones happier than multiple sacks on the quarterback who they played in the Super Bowl last year. So I think that defense is going to be very hungry. So I don't expect a lot there. I like Stephon Diggs. I think that's great. Bijan Robinson, great. I hate Devin Singletary. I think Tracy, if they're smart, they will give the ball to Tracy more than they do to Singletary. But well, they're the Giants, Mitch, so they're not smart.
Nope.
So Josh,
So
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, but you probably don't deserve it.
I'm gonna give this one to Ryan and Mark, and uh, I think I just like the matchups better. But I will say, if Atlanta gets smacked around by Seattle, it's over. You're riding and dying with Atlanta. I mean, between a wide receiver and running back, you're projected almost 30 points.
Mhm.
That you're going to get that on both. You might, unless if it turns into a shootout, you will.
Yep,
Um, Man, Williams. Uh, well, I enjoy that. Like the depth on the starting, like the flex. I love Williams. He's doing so great there for Detroit.
yep.
But no, I think Josh, if you want a chance, the Richardson play this week. I mean, luckily they're playing against Miami, a good team to come back against, so to say. Uh, I think if you don't have neighbors this week, it's over.
I agree. I
If you have neighbors, I think you're in the fight. Dobbs, that's going to be hit and miss. That's all or nothing. But if it's all, it's all. So you're definitely in the fight. You're within definitely within the fight. But I don't think you got enough gas. Um, I don't worry too much about not having Fields this week. It's just a question of is are they going to permanently stick with Russell Wilson? If Russell Wilson lights it up against the Jets, he might keep it. If he loses and plays bad, I don't think so. I don't know. I like Justin Fields. You got him for a reason, and he's playing well. So I don't get the whole benching unless they really want to see what they have with Russell Wilson.
Dude, I just read the reports. They were playing him with the first team today.
Yeah, no, I read those too. So,
I don't get it, man. I
but
really don't.
I give this to Ryan Mark.
Yeah, they should get it. They really should. But Josh, I'm giving you some benefits of the doubt here. So good luck.
All right, Drew against Cameron. We got third against fourth place.
Yeah,
So Cameron actually has a full lineup right now. He's currently projected 92 points. Drew does not have a full lineup, and he's projected 98. He's missing a tight end. Um, Looking, do you want to go first? Or you want me to?
I think you should go ahead. I think we're going to say some of the same things, to be honest.
I mean, I like Drew's team more. I think a lot of it's gonna ride and die with Mason if he's gonna play, but I think Mason. Yeah, you're playing against the Chiefs. I think you can get 10 points out of Mason, even against the Chiefs. There's no depth. Maybe he'll play Jerry Judy, but I don't even like that play. Cameron, you actually have depth. Maybe Cup plays this week.
Cameron has
I
a lot of.
if man, I'm gonna give the edge to Drew. I think Cameron can do it because a lot of his players, I think they're projected right, but one or two of these could just blow up. Chase Brown won't necessarily blow up. Harrison could if he's playing. Mooney could if he's playing. You got some players on your bench. Amari Cooper, I don't like that play this week. I don't think he's going to be an immediate plug and play for the Bills. So that might be something that you need to change up. Um, that might be where you bring in Cup. So I don't know. I'm gonna give the edge to Drew. I think I don't know what he's gonna do for tight end yet. Uh,
Yeah,
but,
I'm not on that.
but he has time to figure that out. Honestly, I would imagine he'll play Buffalo's defense against Tennessee too. He might drop Keenan Allen. I don't know if he's really been doing much for Chicago, anyways. Well,
He had
last
two,
week he did.
but he's been nothing since.
So I'm gonna give the edge to Drew. I could see Cameron winning. If Harrison plays and Murray and Harrison connect, then he has a shot. If that wombo combo delivers, so
Yep. I will actually go ahead and take Cameron. Um, again, I agree. A healthy Harrison is definitely a real weapon. Um, I don't know if Cooper Cup's going to be ready to go or not, but if he is, then like if he's actually ready to go, it's hard to keep him out of a lineup then.
it is.
So, um, Cameron right now, within the next week, you may be trying to trade off one of these receivers to pick up, package with Brown and get a more studly running back or something. But, um, I, I did say that I think that the Buccaneers and the Ravens are primed for I think it's going to be a shootout. I really do. So, Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Mike Evans, like that game is going to be make or break for Drew. If that game, if those three don't put up, then Drew is absolutely screwed. I don't know what to expect from Mason. I mean, he's been nothing short of pretty much stellar in those moments he's come in, but playing through that injury last week, that just didn't look like it was working out well. So I think at the end of the day, I think Cameron pulls it out just because I think he's got a little more depth, maybe some more explosive kind of receivers. If they have big days, they're all potentially number ones for the day.
I think that's the thing with Cameron's team. I mean, any one of his players can pop off, but they could also put up a goose egg or pretty close to
Yep.
it. So it's the kind of team you want, or at least to an extent. You just hope you have a little bit more stability. I think
Yep.
Cameron had I think like you said, like one more stable running back. His team would be kind of fun to have.
Yep.
So
So I think Cameron pulls it out, but I don't think it's going to be, you know, a blowout or anything. I think it's going to be a pretty close affair.
all right. Moving on to, we'll go ahead and call it the game of the week. The two teams with the most points, Ben and Clark. Ben, I'm going to let you start it.
Well, I actually like my matchups this week. Right now, I think CJ Stroud against Green Bay, that's going to be a kind of a test, to be honest, for CJ Stroud. But I think that he will come out of that with flying colors. Um, I don't know what to make out of this Debo Samuel. I think it's a hand injury, is what they're saying, or something. But wrist apparently. But I again, you're a Chiefs fan. You've watched the 49ers against the Chiefs several times. Like to me, the player on that offense that scares me the most is always Debo Samuel. So much so that every offseason I'm sitting there begging, I'm like, please, Chiefs, trade to get Debo just so we never have to worry about playing against him. But I like that. Chris Godwin has quietly been one of the best wide receivers out there this year, in my mind. Uh,
He's
again,
been doing
Derek,
really good.
yeah, Derek Henry and Alvin Kamara. Look, man, I think I've locked up potentially the two highest scoring running backs this year. So if they're healthy and having a good game, then it's hard to honestly beat me. Um, I am looking to roll the dice with Juju. I think that is going to be the play. It's kind of why I was kind of making those comments about Xavier Worthy a while ago. I just don't think Xavier is the play. He's not the number one.
No.
He, but explosive, yes. Talent, of course. But Juju, they brought him in, and he literally is just plug and play in all the plays that Rashee Rice was doing. So, I think Patrick Mahomes is geared towards that. But on top of that, you know what? You're going to play Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I'll put out the wide receiver that I think that he's going to throw the ball to then. So you get points with Patrick, probably getting points for me then. So that's kind of my way of thinking on that. I think I can pull out a win here. I have no illusions about this being like a blowout game for me. I've had some great ones this season so far, but I honestly think this game is probably decided by like 3 points. So I'm hoping it's me. I'm gonna pick me, but you know, I guess I'll understand if it's not me. But I think y'all should be rooting for me to take down the number one seed right now, because I think we're at the end of the day, we all want that parity, right? We want to continue where anyone has the shot, right?
So I'll say this. I mean, I'm all for you winning. Clark, we're not risking resetting the league with Clark winning. So if Clark wins, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Yeah.
Now, this will be a close game. And I will say, Ben, you do not have the best running back combo this week. I I'm sorry. Saquon against the Giants. He is going they will make it a point to rub it in their face. They will annihilate them.
Sir, you said combo.
Yeah, I
Tony
th-
Pollard not in that conversation.
listen, between the two they will outscore your two. You want to do a water bet on that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
All right, we got a water bet.
I,
So,
I I'm not gonna let you just sit here and talk insanity.
okay.
No, I've got Alvin Kamara going against the Denver Broncos.
As long as Denver doesn't get behind, they have a good defense.
They have a great defense. They have no offense.
Well, their offense has been good enough. Like I said last week, they got behind, and then it was a problem. If they don't get behind, if Nix does not start turning the ball over and stuff like that, you're not going to be running all over Denver.
Rule number one with any rookie quarterback: once they have enough tape on you, you got to start figuring out how to just be
So
good at that.
it's also a Thursday night game too, so that could be hit and miss both ways. So who knows? I don't know. I'm gonna stick to it. I think the combo between Saquon and Tony. I could see Tony getting his projected score. He's not going to go crazy. He's not going to get like a 20-point game. Saquon will.
I'm not disagreeing. I think Saquon is definitely in the conversation for best running back in the league. I think you're crazy if you don't say that, but telling
Mo- Most
Pollard,
weeks I would not do this, but it's because I really think Saquon. The Eagles are making a point with Saquon against his former team. Outside of that, Ben, I wouldn't do this. So, but anyways, I'm gonna get back to this. Man, this is a close game. Looking at Clark's bench, good night, dude. He has options. Like I don't even know if I would know who to play this week yet. And he might not either. Like me looking at it, I'm not necessarily gonna say what Clark should do because I want him to pick what he thinks he needs to do to beat you. Man, dude, he has options. I
Mitch,
like
you ready for this? What was the name I was screaming out during the draft? You got to take.
Bigsby.
You
Dude,
got to
he's one that you could potentially start. I mean, I would strongly consider playing him
take.
over Pollard.
Uh-huh.
I don't think Pollard's a bad play.
His bench, it's insane right now. Like Clark, this is the perfect time to go pull off any trade you can. anything.
Yeah. So, man, this is a coin flip. I
Look, if you could play his bench along with what he's starting,
oh, he has the
like,
best team. Like,
yeah,
if
yeah. So again, that's why I hope that I can give you that L. You know,
so, I'm gonna give this to Ben, not by much. Uh, and I think, and unless you change this, like me, I'd probably play Sam Darnold over Patrick Mahomes. Devontae Smith, playing a wide receiver and a running back from the same team still drives me up the wall. I think that's why I'm going to pick Ben because I see that right now. Love the Eagles, but I'm going to be consistent here. I'm going to give it to Ben. It's going to be a close game. Won't be surprised in the slightest if Clark pulls out this win. So, going to give it to Ben. Man, yeah, that this is matchup of the week.
told you game of the week.
So, all right, that's it for that.
Yep, there's
So,
your
so just
Mitch.
to
I think you have to go to. We got to talk about the big news this week, man.
So yeah, there's two big trades in the NFL. Uh,
Yep.
we had Devonte Adams going to the Jets, and then Amari Cooper. I'm not surprised Amari Cooper got traded. It was a bam bam right after Devonte. It's like, geez, the Jets just did one thing. The Bills like, nope, we don't care.
I
We're gonna go take care of where we're hurting at too. And honestly, I love it. I love it for the Bills. I love it for Josh Allen. I love Devonte Adams for Aaron Rodgers. Uh, I will say between all the stuff that took place, oh, Aaron Rodgers, one of the biggest jerks in the league. He's not a good leader.
nope. Nope.
Throwing one of your players like Mike Williams, he's done. He's done. Um, but what
Mhm.
I will say, he has synergy with Lazard. We weren't expecting like the experts like Lazard's at wide receiver 3 at best, maybe even a 4 for that team. No, he's arguably wide receiver 1. It should be Wilson. Problem why it's not Wilson is because there's not synergy or trust there. Now that you have Devontae there, there's that immediate trust, and he's just gonna get fed the ball. So I don't know. I could see the Jets. I mean, they're in panic mode right now. They're 2-4, but they're in a division that they can still come back. It's not like the Bills are the greatest team ever in the AFC. They got their own issues. But what I like, just to transition over to Amari Cooper, they did exactly what they needed to. I I'm gonna give it to the Bills to win that division right now, but I could see the Jets being a problem. So
I I think they can turn around some stuff, but I think too there's just a lot of dysfunction on that team right now, and we've watched this kind of stuff for years, to where a negative locker room in the end is going to tear itself apart. And you know, I'll just say it. I think Aaron Rodgers has always been that.
oh he has.
Like, yes, he's been talented, but I also think that Aaron Rodgers is probably the reason that the Packers never truly had that major success of trying to build a dynasty. Um, you're right. He's not a leader. Um, there's a world of difference between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
Yup.
Completely different people, and I just think Aaron Rodgers' ability or desire to be a diva is in the end going to be what is their downfall. So you can put together, a monster team, but we just watched them fire a coach when the Jets have not really done that ever. So I think that, you know, one of those scenarios where the bad apple will spread to the rest of the team. That negativity, that kind of mindset, it will spread. And unless he can change his mentality and how he treats the people around him, I think he's going to be the detriment of that organization because he's not playing like an MVP right now.
So I'm going to disagree with you here on this, and here's why. Before Aaron Rodgers, what were they?
A decent team with no quarterback.
They're better than a decent team, even with Aaron Rodgers. I think some of the other distractions too, not having Riddick play right now. He's just, I don't know what his problem is. Howie, great job being a GM and getting rid of him. If you foresaw that coming, um, but I think there's some distractions there. Uh, I think Aaron Rodgers now. I don't know what he would be complaining about now. Like I'd be surprised if he starts complaining about this or that. He has
Well,
everything that he could want now.
he does, but is he playing at the same level? Is my question.
We have seen spurts of it. There's a few weeks ago he played, and you're looking at like that's vintage Aaron Rodgers, and it looked great. Like it was great for the league to see that.
Yep.
Um, so I think if the diva's happy, the diva's gonna play well.
I guess that's fair. I just I don't have a whole lot of faith in it. I think if you're telling me, look, they clearly got the best player out of the draft, the trades made this week. Yeah, Devontae Adams is clearly better than Amari Cooper. Yeah, I'll tell you that all day long. But uh, if Devontae Adams was a conversation the Bills were having, then if you're Devontae, I think you screwed up because the Bills are a much better shot at the Super Bowl than the Jets are. And I mean, to me, the way I read it, how that all went down, I think that the Bills were like, well, I guess he's going to New York. And they just said, screw it. Like, you know what? Yeah, fine. We'll go get our guy in Amari Cooper. So, end of the day, I think that the Bills have actually set themselves up for a longer run than the Jets have. Just because I think,
I won't disagree with you on that. I think Bills are set up for more than just 1 to 2 years. Jets, that is their time frame, 1 to 2 years.
Jets are acting like maybe what the Dallas Cowboys should have been acting like, being aggressive, making
Dude,
this is an all-in move.
don't get me going on the Cowboys. I'm loving every bit of it. Jerry Jones is the greatest owner, GM in this league ever. I'm all for it. I don't get why all these Cowboys fans are upset. He's doing the best that he can. That should be enough, right? No, sorry. If this past week, because I know we're going to be wrapping up, this past week was the perfect week for me in terms of football all around. First off, Eagles won. Second off, Cowboys lost.
And the fashion it happened too.
Oh, and the fashion happened too.
Ah,
After that, the three leagues I'm in fantasy won all three of them. And then also the Giants and Washington lost. So outside of Nick Sirianni getting it, arguing with his own fans, I don't. I mean, it was a good week.
yeah. My gosh, that Dallas game though, Detroit came out and it wasn't just a win. It was a flat out statement revenge game.
Oh, it
The,
was, and I was all for it.
the things that they did to them were just rude.
And
Like,
they were planned up too. Like it wasn't just like backyard football they started playing. They wrote that up to do,
yep,
and it was really more like back off. Like no, like they made an argument like we should be America's team, not you.
yep. It
So
was it was impressive. After that, I was like, Dang. All right, Detroit. I'm okay with seeing you in the Super Bowl this year. Oh, that was fun to watch, though.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that's all we got for tonight's episode. Um, man, week 7. After this week, I think we're halfway through the fantasy season after week 7.
Yep.
So yeah, as always, if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you all next week. Peace.